Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce, and I am here with
Jase Marsiglia.
and you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a trip down a sad memory lane.
I feel like mine's a little more nostalgic.
Okay,
It was an attempt.
an attempt.
Yeah.
What we're referring to is things we wanted to do that didn't
Pan out. Just didn't pan out. For whatever
in
reason.
the industry.
Yeah. I'm not even sure mine. I'm not even sure I could say that about mine.
Are you sure though? Because you were definitely wanting to put it out there for people to view.
I was, but once I tell mine, you could tell me if
Okay.
it fits the mold,
Okay.
I suppose.
What we're talking about is, projects that we started and never got to finish.
Yeah.
So I have one in particular that stands out to me that I put a lot of time and effort and development into, and I was excited.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea, and the people I was working with at the time, I brought it up to them, and everyone seemed like they were on board.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try something different, challenging. You know, I wanted to challenge all of us, myself included.
Yeah.
And so I created this whole backstory about this guy who was living in this small town back at the turn of the century. Mm-hmm. You know, he was practicing dark art, satanic, wild, weird shit. Mm-hmm. But he was keeping to himself.
Okay.
He wasn't a threat to the town, but the town saw him as a threat.
Of course.
So they decided we don't need him in this town.
Okay.
They decided to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. Mob mentality.
Yeah.
So one night, they decide to trek up to his house, but he got word of it,
Yeah.
you know, and
Tipped off somehow.
Yeah, and when they showed up, he was standing on the roof of his shack. He was like covered in some liquid substance. They were all kind of stunned when they saw him there because that's not what they were expecting.
Sure.
And so, you know, he starts screaming and yelling at them about, you know, judgment and, you know, kind of a, spiel. And long story short, he ends up cursing the town and his blood's on their hands and lights himself up and he's just engulfed in flames.
So he was dripping with like kerosene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he dives off into the crowd and they're kind of like, well, shit.
Oopsie.
And so what had happened is the story, you know, we see it and then it fades to two guys sitting at a computer reading the story.
Yeah.
And they're like, I guess at the time it would be like the equivalent of like YouTubers.
Okay.
They go out urban exploration, abandoned places, you know, haunted places, you know, like they just all the dark shit that they were involved in.
Yeah.
And this was just a story that came across their computer and they were like, we should go. It's here in town.
Yeah.
You know, we should go investigate this.
A local dark story.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And so, you know, I wrote a bunch of stuff, you know, dialogue, just all the typical shit you would do. And, you know, everyone was like, yeah, this is good shit. Like, I like it. And the thing was like, what was different is like, I really wanted realism.
Yeah.
I didn't want actors.
Sure.
But it was tricky because I needed cameramen because I needed them to know how to frame a shot
Sure.
because it wasn't going to be a typical shoot where you use a camera to film
Yeah.
what's going on. Okay. The cameramen were the ones doing all the filming
Yes.
of themselves. So I was kind of like giving them a roadmap of what to do.
Yeah.
Not so much dialogue because they weren't actors.
Yeah.
I was just giving them situations and then they were using their own voices.
Yeah.
Just to add the realism. Because I kind of wanted that Blair Witch, is this real? Is it not real?
Right.
And so, because that was like the craze at the time. Like everyone was doing this kind of shit. And so I was like, fuck it, let's do it. You know, why not? You know, we shot a bunch of stuff and it looked good. Like, you know, it really did because they were like ribbing each other and, you know, just, they were treated, because I was really trying to express to them, I want this to be real.
Yeah.
So you got to envision this is real. You're not acting.
Okay.
We're not making a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So however your personalities are, that's just what they're going to be. It's easier to get that real performance that way versus trying to don a character and learn a bunch of lines, you know, and deliver them properly. And so we did some rehearsals and it worked out. You know, like it totally worked out. They were making fun of each other. It was funny. And these guys were like, in a weird way, like they were outdoors guys.
Yeah.
So they were kind of familiar with lingo and obviously camera equipment, being cameramen. So it seemed like it was working.
Yeah.
Seemed like a good fit. But the other thing I wanted to do was the killer.
Yeah.
I wanted to cast several people to play him
Okay.
at one time because I wanted their interactions with him to be
genuine.
Yeah, so they didn't know when this was going to happen, so the reactions were going to be real.
Yeah.
We found a spot, and we were like, okay, we're going to go out, and you guys are going to explore, and we'll put radios in, and then we'll be able to monitor you.
Yeah.
And we'll hear it, and I'll be able to radio to you, and then we'll be able to watch on a monitor what you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're just going to go out to this place, you're going to like hike, and it's going to be dark. It's going to get dark on you. So you're out there in the middle of the night now when you do happen upon this shack in the middle of the woods.
Right.
So I really wanted to show like they got there in the daytime and they're walking, and it's just them like the Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's the middle of the night and they're kind of like, we're kind of turned around. Where the fuck are we? So everything was going to work great in my head.
Sure.
And then it was like, no, we don't want to do this.
This is the
guys, a lot of the casting crew.
Sure.
I was like, no, we don't want to do this. And one of the reasons I was given was like, it just seems too hard.
Okay.
And I was like, what do you mean hard? Like, you're just being yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say this sounds easy.
Yeah, you're just being yourself.
Because didn't they say they told them where to camp? They were with them the whole time. Maybe. I don't know. But didn't they just kind of say, something will happen tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So, much like yours, I think most of Blair Witch was ad-libbed except for some key points.
Right.
And then something would happen, and their fear was genuine.
Right.
Because I think they were just told, like, kind of a cursory, expect something tonight.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be, oh, you might hear kids giggling in the woods tonight, or something might be clawing at your tent.
Right.
They didn't get it. And that's the thing. To me, you're just being asked to live in the moment. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yeah, that was it. I think the people that were doing the hard work were the like 4 or 5 actors I had that were going to be staged at different spots throughout this land. That way, real time, no editing, no cuts. Or when they go into this shack, because even that in of itself, this is what I was trying to create was this sense of hopelessness
Sure.
and then there's something extremely creepy about just having the lights shine no more than 10 feet in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're seeing, just the branches dangle down in front of it. And, it's a creepy effect. Mm-hmm. But then the payoff is you're walking and walking and walking, and then you stumble upon a shack. And then it opens up the mind of what's in there, who's in there.
Yeah.
We're so far out here, no one's going to hear us. Mm-hmm. We have no signal.
Very isolating.
Yeah. So they go into the place and, with the flashlights kind of looking around, and they come to find out that, yes, this is the guy's house. This is the guy's shack.
Oh, the guy from the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they start going through his belongings, his writings, and all of the shit that he was doing. And they're like reading stuff. But as they're reading things, they don't know that they're conjuring him.
Right.
So, we do have that moment of you do hear things, footsteps on leaves outside.
Sure.
So that way, and no musical score.
Oh, no.
Just all ambient. Nope. All ambient nature noises.
Yep.
Whatever you
It's the only way. It's really the only way to do found footage.
Yeah. And so
properly.
In my mind, I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, other people are going to be scared from this.
Sure.
That feeling of being trapped and what's going to happen. I don't know what's out there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, getting to the point to where you'll see a shadow walk by the window.
Yeah.
Outside, So this is going to be fun. This is going to deliver what we needed to deliver.
Yeah.
It's almost no money
Yeah.
and very effective, which I'm like, as an independent filmmaker, especially new, I was like, we couldn't ask for anything more than this.
Right. This is the gig.
Yeah. It's like,
This is great.
we don't have cranes. We don't have dollies. We don't have steady cams. We don't have anything, but we had this. So I was like, let's make the scariest thing possible.
Yeah.
And when this killer does reveal himself to them and they run out of the house, you can clearly hear this guy, this person in the house, like this god awful screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
Which that echoing in the middle of the night is terrifying.
Unsettling at best.
Right. And so as they're running, and the way I wanted like a 2-camera shot where there's a camera pointing at their face and then there's a camera pointing in front of them. But that way the camera that's pointing at their face, like kind of like a medium shot.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we'd be able to get the house and see the guy standing there
Behind them.
in the doorway.
Yeah.
As they're running away from this shack. And then they'll get to another point, and then another actor in the same costume, they would run into him.
Yeah.
And then there's an interaction there. And
But
then,
with seamless no editing.
right. And then the thing is, like, I didn't want it to appear like there was 5 of them. I wanted it to appear that there was one of them that he was moving around wherever
He was
they
able
went.
to,
He was
yeah.
there. It was just, it was a cool way to cheat
Sure.
that, that effect of no editing.
Yeah.
And then also the realism, getting their reaction, because I could be like, okay, I would, be able to tell the actor, like, they're running right for you.
Yeah.
Or they're running this way, you need to move over like 20 feet, whatever, they're going to hit, they're coming right in, they're going to run right into you.
Yeah.
And, again, like I said, dude, I had done about not quite a month, but a solid 2-3 weeks worth of work on this project. And even the script was very loose.
Sure. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Especially if you're ad-libbing.
Right. It was very, very loose. It was just mainly just showing locations and the setup, all that kind of shit. And which, I mean, it is WGA protected. So if there's a producer out there that wants to do it, hit me up. Like, I still own it, But it was just one of those things where when it fell apart, it really like took the wind out of my sails, like, for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, because prior to that, we wrote something and then we did it.
Yeah.
We wrote something and then we did it. It's out. It's at a festival, and it's doing its thing. And it felt okay. It's nice. So I felt like I was on a roll, even though they were just short films.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was on a roll. Like, okay, we're growing. We're building.
Yeah.
And then I felt like, man, like I felt that we challenged ourselves, and it was met with it was too hard. For me, like, I take that shit very personal.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to give what I'm giving.
Of course.
And again, I'm not saying anything negative about these guys. Like, I understand it from their standpoint of it being too hard. Maybe they just didn't grasp the concept.
Right.
And I held no negativity towards anyone that was like, no, I don't want to do it. Because, I mean, it was essentially damn near everyone.
Yeah.
And it's always kind of been one of those things that's like stuck in my mind because we've written scripts and then, well, there's only 20 pages. There's only 6 pages. There's only whatever. Yeah. That's on us. You know what I mean? It's not that we've given up or they've failed.
Yeah.
We just haven't completed them.
Sure.
And I've talked to other screenwriters as well, and they're just like, no, that's a very real thing of writing and getting to a point of just being done.
Yeah.
And then, I'm moving on. This is not exciting me. This is not driving me to want to finish this. Not that it's a bad idea, but you want to have that drive when you're doing this shit.
Yeah, if you're not feeling it, it's going to go stagnant.
So I never, felt that when I would write a script and not finish it because I had those scripts and I did go back and complete some of them.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. That's good.
But, with this one, it was just, it really opened my eyes to like, yikes, this could fall apart.
Yeah.
It was the first time of like this could all fall apart. There's, again, this is going to sound bad, but it's not meant the way I'm saying it, but it's like no loyalty.
Yeah.
Or maybe that is about, maybe no commitment.
How about,
I don't know.
How about follow through?
it's a nicer way to put it.
Okay.
It's the same thing in my opinion, but it's like,
Yeah.
maybe it is a nicer way to put it. And like I said, it's not derogatory towards them, like in any way, shape, or form. I think it's more of a slap in the face to myself,
Sure.
because then I'm left with wondering, like, did I not sell it properly? Did I not motivate them properly? Was I not as excited about the project? Because a lot of people, when you're leading a crew, they feed off of your energy.
Yeah.
I was like beating myself up over this for a long time.
Sure.
Because watching the footage that I still have, of these guys, and I was like, this is cool because it was so natural and it was fun. But I think they got in their own head of like, I'm not an actor. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's why you're doing this.
Of course.
It's like,
that's where the realism
comes. I don't want you to be an actor. I want you to be you. And so that one kind of got me down for a long time.
Sure.
It made me put my guard up a little bit more. And it also made me, I guess, a better director because I really wanted to pass the energy along. I really wanted to make sure that everyone is having fun. I want to make sure everyone is laughing and having a good time and they're not worried about the material. I think I was maybe forcing the material down their throat too much and not leaning on, we're having fun, let's have a good time, like the past projects have been.
Sure.
I think I was more caught up in my own mind of like, I could make this into a feature. Who knows? We might have a Paranormal Activity hit on our hands.
Yeah, yeah.
I put a lot on myself as well, so I think I kind of got rid of a lot of the energy that I bring to the set.
Sure.
And being able to realize that, it was humbling.
Oh, I bet.
So then therefore on the next one after that, I really was like doing my best to make sure everyone had a smile on their face.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple of scripts, shot down from them, because of subject matter.
Sure.
They're like, oh no, this is too dark. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I get it. So it's not like the project's dead because I still have a completed script. It's worse, I feel, when I have footage that never got completed.
Sure.
And then I want to tell you, kind of coming full circle, after everything I've done and shooting my first feature, I was very upset and in a bad place when my feature hit a wall and stopped. And because of, creativity, funding, all the normal shit.
Yep.
We were burned a couple times by some VFX artists,
Sure.
And I was immediately taken back to that time of, well, you started something, you didn't finish it. And now the stakes are bigger because you have quality actors in the picture. And
set deck.
Yeah. You really went to the nines with this one and now it's not out, And so, that's why even recently, we've started it again.
Right.
And now we're in the process of getting it finished. Luckily enough, I was able to shoot everything I needed to where I can finish it now. So it's good, and it's my movie, so it's like it rests on my shoulders. You know what I mean? So, but the good news is, just from learning and in the past and everything, I am now able to finish this movie, and this movie will come out.
Yeah.
And like I said, really trying to think back, it really was just that one for me, and it was like super impactful on my creativity and how I navigate, the entertainment industry.
Sure. No, I get that.
I've been a part of other movies that, that I was hired onto that were filmed and never released.
Oh, yeah.
That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I was paid whatever. It's on them. You know what I mean? Like that, I got paid. So
you
whatever.
didn't take it personal as a
It wasn't personal.
failure.
No, because I was just doing a job on a set.
Yeah.
So, it's a learning process. I mean,
Very much
that's
so.
that's the thing about this business. It's no matter how much you achieve, no matter where you go, you have to learn. If you don't stop learning, you're pretty much done. In my opinion, you're done right there. It's like
sure.
you're never gonna grow. You're never gonna level up.
Nope.
You're stunted emotionally, in my opinion, if you don't learn.
Yeah.
So that's my story of an unfinished project that really bothers me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think mine's as ambitious.
Okay.
Maybe not. You can tell me. Mine was a project I was trying to get off the ground with my brother Josh back in like 2007. and we called it the Saturday Afternoon Slaughter. And it was going to be like a blend of, I don't want to say Elvira necessarily or Svengoolie, but Mystery Science Theater as well. And what we were going to do was every week we would shoot an opening where let me back up a little bit. We were going to start it with a movie, quote unquote, that was just going to go to YouTube. We weren't going to shop it around or anything. It was just for fun. But what it was my brother and I were playing ourselves. We got into horror movies, and we were like, basically we were lamenting the death of video stores.
Okay.
And somehow, I don't remember how, we discovered a crypt of old tapes. And every week we would get a new tape. We would take it home. We'd watch it and critique it. We would give it, a review or what have you. And then you would get to watch it with our commentary on YouTube, okay? Which was funny. We were goofing and stuff. But we also had Josh's buddy, Justin Foster, who's the other half of Demon Breath, and his brother, Jeremiah. They were going to play these two mad scientists who, whatever movie we were watching that week, we would figure out something stupid to experiment with, and invariably Jeremiah, I believe, would always die.
Okay.
Whatever the experiment was, he would just die, and then inexplicably next week he'd just be alive again to be killed again.
Yeah.
Which we thought was hilarious. But basically it was like the spirit of the video store was providing us the tapes to watch, critique, and let you know what the best one was to buy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a public service kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so we started this movie, and we shot, we shot this for hours. There's hours of footage that I have at home. It was like we woke up on a Saturday morning, cruised around looking for video stores. They were all closed. We had this stupid montage where we were just running from one video store to another.
Yeah.
Then I recalled a very real place in Dearborn Heights called the Video Zone, being the place that I remember had everything. And as I'm telling him about this, we even had a song picked out. It was going to be Curie by Mr. Mister, which is just, it's a song that keeps climbing. It's very uplifting and positive, and we were just going to jump in the car and cruise out there, and this is going to be amazing. This is so fucking fun. And then we got there, and the place was closed because in real life, it really was fucking closed. It was just gone. And so that was going to be the catalyst where we were like, well, I guess that's it. We got nothing, And we had shot this montage of us doing stupid shit at home to bide the time. And one of the ones that stood out because we just couldn't stop laughing, the outtakes are probably 20 minutes long. We were both playing checkers, and one of us would make a move, and the other one would go, it's good, it's good, it's a good move. And then all of a sudden flip the fucking table and go, fuck this game.
Yeah.
And it was the spaz out that made us laugh so fucking hard. But it was supposed to be like we were giving this montage of shit, just mundane things we were doing to keep our minds off of being bored. And it was hilarious. But the Fosters had a patch of land that they owned that was all in the woods. We dug this massive hole and we had like a plank or what's the word I'm looking for? Pallet.
Okay.
Where we put the camera in it, and we literally faked the look of us pulling open a coffin.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was like, oh my God, the coffin's always got something new in it, We shot a lot of bumpers. We shot a lot of stuff where they did the experiments. We did one where the episode, we were doing a black and white silent movie. I think it was Cabinet of Caligari.
Okay.
And one of the gags was that we were stuck in the Aha music video. Because it's black and white and all sketchy and shit. Still have it. Still have the footage. It's out there with the music attached. But that was the thing between the time to edit and the means to do it and the technology to do it. I didn't have all that. Didn't really have the money to level up in that regard. Then it started coming down. YouTube is cracking down on copyright. So it was like the songs that we thought would have been funny, can't use it. Footage that we thought would help propel the show in a critique way, couldn't use it. Little by little, the idea was getting whittled away.
Right.
By infringement threats and not threats to us. We never did get far enough to upload it.
Uh-huh.
But it was one of those deals where I'm just like, if we follow all the rules, it's going to be a shell of what we wrote. It's going to be a shell of what we shot.
Yeah.
You know? So I still, to this day, I have little mini DV tapes and DVRs and stuff full of footage. And we were making fake commercials, promos.
Okay.
We did a completely stupid one where we were trying to convince the masses that buying a region-free DVD player was worth your while. And I mean, at one point, I'm pretty sure I dragged my nose across the DVD player and go, I think I said something like, smells foreign. Something stupid like that. I can't even remember what it was. But it was just stupid, fun horror shit.
Yeah.
And we had our mad scientists and our setup. We had a formula. Mm-hmm. And eventually it just died. But what's funny is Josh and I and my friend from high school, one of my best buddies, Brian, who we call Russ, the three of us alternately, sometimes it was me and Josh, sometimes it was me and Brian. I think there was one instance where it was all three of us. We recorded well over a dozen commentaries that are still out there, you know.
Yeah.
And like we did Amityville 2, we did something called Razorblade Smile. The three of us did Planet of the Dinosaurs from 1978, which was fucking hilarious. Horrors of Spider Island. The first one we ever did was Howling 7, New Moon Rising, which we just savaged. We just tore it to pieces. But it was going to be funny. It was, you know, like Mystery Science Theater, there might be a little intermission break where we step out of the viewing room and go to the scientists and be like, we just saw something in this movie and wondered if this would work. And of course, one of them would die. Yeah. Gorily, you know, and it would be like, I guess it doesn't work. Back to our show. Yeah. And we go back in and finish the fucking movie, you know. But it was just, it was too ambitious and too, the jokes wouldn't have worked without the right songs. The reviews wouldn't have worked without footage. So it just died. And the sad thing is we probably worked on it for a year.
God damn.
That's what I mean. There's hours of footage at home of shit that we did that was just fucking hilarious.
Wow, a year?
At least. And we were trying to juggle episodes. Like, it wasn't just a year's worth of footage for the premiere movie that would set everything up. Yeah. It was almost everything we did a commentary for, we tried to do intros and outros, and it was fucking fun. It was so much fun, but it just went fucking nowhere. Wow. And there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to just take all that footage and put something together, even if it's just for my entertainment value, or show it to somebody. I know at one point, way early on when we were hanging out, I brought over one of the commentaries. Yeah. I don't even remember which one we watched.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But it was one of those deals where I would burn some of the commentaries and hand them to friends, and they couldn't believe that the jokes weren't pre-written. Because Mystery Science Theater is pre-written. Yeah. These are movies that they've watched dozens of times, and they sat and wrote jokes as a team. Josh and I and Brian and I, we would pop in a movie and just riff. And apparently the stuff we said was so fucking funny that people were literally like, you guys wrote all this beforehand. We're like, no. Yeah. This was off the fucking cuff. Like, and it was a compliment. Because it was just like, if our riffs are that funny that you think that we wrote them prior to, I'm like, that means we were on our game. Oh, yeah. That's pretty fucking good. But yeah, that was one project. And then there was another Brian and I tried to do. we tried to do a legitimate horror film.
Okay.
And that we were going to try and do something with. It involved a haunted house, and we had a scene that was kind of like The Haunting, where we shot something where we ran into a room and slammed a door shut, and it was supposed to be like the Haunting, where the banging on the door. Whatever was outside that door was banging on it, and it was like a ghost. And it had both of us holding our backs to the door to keep it shut. And my brother Justin was the one banging on the door.
Yeah.
And he banged on it so fucking hard that it literally looked like it was going to come off the hinges. Which, of course, we looked at the footage and was like, that was fucking rad.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's scary as fuck. I tried at one point to do a one-shotter from the ghost point of view, where it starts in the basement, goes up through the floor, sideways outside. But like as it was going outside, you'd see my car pull up and me and Brian get out, and then it would go through the wall. It would be outside while we were walking up to the house. Like it was following us. Mm-hmm. And really ambitious shot. But we shot tons of stuff for that. And then we were shooting something close to that asylum I told you about.
Right.
We used to hang out or used to trounce around. And I got into a fucking massive car accident. It totaled the car.
Okay.
And me and my brother were in it. And it was like the camera went flying. I mean, it flew out the window because the window shattered. It was in the back seat. We didn't have a scratch on us. We were fine. People who hit us were fine. But it was like when that happened, it sucked the fun out of the whole thing and we just dropped it.
Really?
Yep. And the thing is, all of that footage, we somehow poured it onto a VHS tape. And it's just, I think we called it Descent into Darkness.
Uh-huh.
And it was just going to be this haunted house movie we did.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that footage in probably 20 years.
Wow.
But it's a VHS, it's like an old Kodak tape that we taped it all on. And we were going to do bonus features and everything. We did interviews with each other, behind the scenes stuff. We were showing how we did certain things. This was going to be like our bad taste. Like this was an ultra low budget, shot on video.
Yeah.
And it just died. So between Descent into Darkness and the Saturday Afternoon Slaughter, there's a lot of footage at home that just, it'll never go anywhere. It's just there. But it was fun to do all that. Mm-hmm. It was fun to try.
Right.
But by the end of it, it was like, I'm not really a filmmaker. Let me try this screenwriting stuff. Let someone else worry about all this budget shit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's fun. I mean, one day, who knows, maybe I'll send the shit to one of those companies that puts shit on a fucking thumb drive and, you know, I can edit it and put it together and have something to show for it that, you know, the old college try.
Yeah.
You know, that might be cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if you have that much footage.
There's so much. It's
know?
ridiculous.
Wow. Because even with mine, I mean, we probably only literally shot maybe a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just setup stuff.
No, we spent, at least for the Saturday Afternoon Slaughter, we started that early spring and we're shooting things clear into fall. Just you know, random stuff that we were trying to put together. We had one of the promos was a 80s era sitcom type promo where they introduced all the characters and we'd look up and do the double take like,
yeah,
hey, you know. We did a Cheers one, which would have had the Cheers song, but the still frames were just fucking obnoxious shit like us being chased by killers, you know, stuff like that where instead of the old-timey photos
right
for Cheers, it was photos of us typically in peril, but to the Gary Portnoy song. It was just funny. It was just, we had so many fucking ideas for this stuff and it died. But I liked that I could somehow, some way go back and watch it probably, you know, and just kind of relive those old days. But it was fun, but it just, it never went anywhere.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
It is.
It's tough.
Because it was a lot of hard work too.
It is.
You know.
Yeah. It is, especially when you pour so much creativity into that shit,
Yeah.
you know, and then just to see it just fizzle out, you know, it's like such a letdown.
It is. It really is, man. It bums you out.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, especially, you know, and this is probably going to sound negative, but it's like, you know, then I see other people doing the same shit, but then just getting it made and completing it and then putting it out there. And, you know, it's like, fuck.
We can't change circumstances.
Right.
Happenstance is called that for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
I think probably from both of our experiences, I mean, it seems like we probably learned.
Oh, yeah. I learned some craft.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research. I bought some equipment. We were serious.
Yeah.
You know, this wasn't...
Well, clearly, you don't invest a year of your life into a project if you're not serious.
Right. And it was just... I mean, granted, at the end of the day, we were just fucking around and putting it on film, but it wasn't like Jackass. You know,
Yeah.
we weren't like in parking lots knocking each other over.
Well, there was development. You were creating.
There was development. There was a plot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a end goal in mind. And, man, it was all funny. I remember one promo we did where we were like, the following show will contain, and every time we mentioned what it was, like graphic violence, we'd cut to a clip of like the chick's eye being punctured in zombie, sex, we'd show like fucking nudity. And it was just by the end of the promo that we warned you about all this stuff. By the end of it, we showed it all to you and was just like, so, you know, parental discretion advised. Even though we blatantly showed you everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, drug use. You'd see a guy shooting up heroin from some movie or whatever. And it was like the most useless PSA. But that was the point. Like, it was ridiculously in your face. And, you know, it was just funny. Funny stuff. A lot of fun to do.
And you think that's what led you to screenwriting?
Sort of.
Or like a gateway?
Maybe a gateway.
Yeah.
It's certainly in the attempts to shoot all this stuff, you of course, I've still got a book at home. It was like how to make a low budget film at used car prices.
Mm-hmm. I have that book.
Yeah. You know, and I want to say buying that book was the one that led me to the Screenwriter's Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, once one avenue kind of stopped, I'd thumb through the other one and be like, I could probably do this.
Mm-hmm.
This seems easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, I definitely wasted a lot of money on books.
Yeah, me too.
I did. It's almost like, fuck, if I would have saved that money, I could have put it towards a film.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
bittersweet.
definitely humbling.
Yeah.
For sure. You brought this up when you were still at home.
Oh, this topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, it was funny because I didn't really go into it.
Well, I mean, when I brought it up to you, I was just like, obviously, where you're at, there's NDAs, there's projects that you can't talk about.
Yeah.
You know, you've got gag orders and all that, you know, whatever. I was like, do you have any that you can? And you did. So I was like, okay, then let's just go forward.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, mine are just little goofy indie, almost film school-esque things. But I was just like, if you've got something you're actually legally allowed to talk about, let's do it, you know.
And I did. And it, you know, like I said, when you brought it up, it brought me back to that place. And I was just
Isn't
like,
that funny?
Fuck. I was like, God damn it. Because it is one of those things. It is definitely a thorn in the side.
Sure. But here we are. We're doing this now.
Yeah.
And we get to lick our wounds in public.
Yeah. Yeah. Lucky us.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, it was a short one, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, it was fun. And the thing is, I think I was able to pull some images from mine. We could put them on social media.
Yeah, hell
some
yeah.
of the stupid shit we did.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look back on it fondly, but it just wasn't to be.
No, I get that. Well, thanks for making me sad.
Thanks for making me happy.
Until next time.
See you guys